These tiny handprints just became some of the most important archaeological discoveries on the entire planet. A new study published in Nature has revealed the oldest securely dated rock art associated with our species. And it's not in Europe, and it's not in Africa, it's in Indonesia. Researchers working in Sulawesi discovered the iconic handprints right here on Sulawesi. It's where you place your hand on a cave wall and then you spray pigment over it to leave a negative impression of a human hand. But what they did next is where it gets really interesting. By using laser ablation uranium dating, archaeologists and scientists were able to actually date the pigment underneath the calcite that's formed on top of the art. This gives us a minimum age for the painting because obviously the painting must be older than the calcite that's formed over the top of it, and you can see another really good example of the ochre layers with the calcite on top right here. And one of those stencils, this little guy poking out right here that you can barely see, gave us a date of 67,800 years old, making it the oldest example of humanity's symbolic expression on Earth. That even predates the controversial Spanish hand stencil that's sometimes attributed to Neanderthals. This is a really important discovery for two main reasons. You see, it gives us a timeline for human cognitive development. It shows that these people that were moving through these islands weren't just on a hunting, sustenance, and survival mission. They were bringing their culture, their families, their friends, their memories, their identities, and leaving their mark as they went. And that's a significant cognitive marker for the development of human ancestry. But it's also really important because it helps strengthen the Australian model. You see, in Australia, we have a site called Madjedbebe, which is way up the top there, and it dates to 65,000 years ago. The problem with this site is that most of the other ancient sites in Australia date to somewhere around 50,000, and we don't really have anything else in the same range as Madjedbebe. But the dates from these new finds line up pretty much perfectly with Madjedbebe. If we have 67,800 here and 65 here, that's pretty much exactly what we'd expect from the migration routes that we've computer modeled and we have evidence for. I think it's really important that with finds like this, we consider the human nature of them. It's a shame that people from the past have been portrayed as cavemen, as typically the Neanderthal, the big Unga Bunga guy. But these were people that obviously had culture and traditions, and they carried them with them and they left their mark on the world as they went. They were as smart as you and I. Anatomically speaking, they were exactly the same as us. And I think it's really important to remember that and consider that when we think about discoveries like this. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. It's always really interesting to see what you guys think versus what my colleagues and what I think. It's often quite different, and I find that really interesting. So leave a comment, let me know. If you did like the content, make sure you hit the follow button. I'll see you on the next video. I've just seen a pretty interesting article about 40,000-year-old writing system that may predate Mesopotamia by like 30,000 years. So that's coming up next. Hit the follow button.